So when I was initially asking you about just the collective overall, there was some things that you mentioned that were different dimensions of visual art. Tell us about how visual art is important, because we're talking about hair, you know what I mean? You talk about other mediums of visual art. Why, or if any, for a better reason? Yeah. No, there is no better question than why. Yeah. Why visual art?
Well, to go back to, attention spans and just how quick content is being digested right now, and like with the temperature of society and all of that good stuff, and social media and all that. It's important to have something where people can just see something that, it's kind of glittery, it's kind of shiny. They can just see it and be like, this is interesting. Let me dive more into that, before we get into anything else, So it's important even to have your image, up to par, knowing what you want your audience to receive you as, what you want to give off, who your audience is, all that good stuff. But, just as far as the image and stuff is really, really important to, have something where though it's appealing to the crowd. It's something that, people want to see, something that can, grab people's attention. And then we can get into all the juiciness of the, complexities of everything else.
When you feel like you really got in your bag, or is that something that you always feel like you felt inside yourself, like that you always were self-aware of that? Like, when did you become more self-aware of how impactful these points of interest that you just mentioned are, like visual art, your brand, your image, and things like that?
For the most part, just throughout the years in trial and error, I've just been, really managing myself since the beginning of my career, really. So just, like I said, trial and error, and then also, like I said, just knowing your audience. And right now, with the type of music that I make, the type of sounds that I create, and how complex it really is, and how concrete like some of my music is. Sometimes I might switch up 3 times in the same song, so like things like that. It's just important to kind of have something where people can relate to, you feel me? That's another reason why I released Mask on, and even with that, I had the whole mask and that whole persona.
It was fire.
As well, you feel me? So
fire. Mask, fire. Fire.
But yeah, I feel like honestly, when people started kind of like biting my shit, that's when I knew, like, oh, alright, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So let me like capitalize on this a little bit more. You feel me? That's honestly what it was when I seen people start follow suit.
What's most of the feedback that you get from your music? Like, out of, I guess, maybe a couple moments that are the most memorable, what could you mention them with us? Like, what are the most memorable moments you've had that people told you about your music, or just an overall reception that you gained?
I feel like the most memorable, you saying as far as like someone telling me, like,
yeah, someone telling you about your music,
like Killer Priest, like, people that I've like listened to growing up. It's like kind of like, yo, like, you dope, you got something, like, you going, like, you get what I'm saying? Those are the moments that I really hold on to. El Camille, like I said, people that I listen to and I've like fell into through other people. So I was listening to Ab-Soul and he mentioned El Camille, like he's iller than Camille, and I like fell into her, ended up getting a feature. Now it's like sis, you know what I'm saying? So it's like certain people that's like, yo, like we on the same lane, we already resonate in so many different like frequencies, and the fact that they see me and they see me, like, it's different, so. And Lil B saying that I'm a legend, like that's some what, you know what I mean? Like the legendary Lil B, like that's crazy. So it's a few moments, a few recent moments, but I definitely, it's a couple that's in my pocket.
I mean, when did you start doing these ventures with your music that, like you said, Mask On was when it came to you? What are some of the ventures that you have moving forward that you plan on showing us more about just your acumen? Because that's one thing that I'm appreciative of when I talk to you, is just how you have strategic implementation, you are aware of how to get the information that you need. So it's like I said, you're acclimating, just being able to describe it very concise. Like, how do you plan on implementing these things moving forward?
Well, I do have like a few just projects coming out. A first project probably be my solo project, Greater Than. And like I said before, I'm working with Killer Priest. I already had that feature. I'm working on another special feature. I'm not gonna name just yet. But that's a project that I'm releasing. I feel like that'll really help with the momentum with the collective a lot. And the collective project is something that I'm working on really real strategic. But I think in between that, my project, the Astronaut Collective project, and then the other projects that's coming out from the artists that's a part of Astronaut Collective, we have a lot of stuff coming out this year. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Stay tuned.